What is going on, everybody? My name is Keenan Costain, and welcome back to another episode of Hornets Recaps. And on today's episode, we'll be discussing the Hornets losing to the Pistons 118 to 100. And without further ado, let's go over the box score and stats throughout this game. So, taking a look at the Detroit Pistons box score, you had Jalen Duren with 20 points, 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 8 for 11 from the field. Duncan Robinson, 19 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 6 for 11 from the field, 3 for 8 from 3. Cade Cunningham. And Cade Cunningham with 14 points, 2 rebounds, 7 assists on 7 for 13 shooting. For the Hornets, LaMelo Ball with 27 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 7 for 20 from the field, 6 for 16 from 3. Brandon Miller with 22 points, 3 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals in this game, with 9 for 20 from the field, 2 for 8 from 3. And Miles Bridges with 10 points, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 3 for 7 from the field, 1 for 4 from 3. Taking a look at the team stats for the Detroit Pistons, 50.6% to the Hornets, 38.6%. The three-point percentage for Detroit, 33.3% to the Hornets, 27.7%. The free throw percentage for the Hornets, 82.6%. To the Detroit Pistons, 73.1%. Total rebounds, 49 to 41 Detroit, with 16 offensive rebounds and a 14 offensive for Charlotte. The defensive rebounds, 33 to 27. The assist category, 29 to 16 Detroit. The blocks at 8 apiece. Steals, 13 to 10 Detroit. Turnovers, 15 to 13. Hornets committing the most. Points off turnovers, 22 to 18. Fast break points. The Detroit Pistons having 20 to the Hornets with only having 12. Points in the paint, 62 to 42. Points per possession, 1.19 for Detroit, 1.00 for Charlotte. The personal fouls. The personal fouls, 20 to 17. Detroit committing the most. And the largest lead for the Hornets was 4 to the Detroit Pistons, 21. For my Hornets player of the game, it belongs to LaMelo Ball with 27 points, 5 rebounds, 8 assists, 2 steals, with 7 for 20 from the field, 6 for 16 from the three-point line. LaMelo Ball was the hardest team. Okay. LaMelo Ball was the hardest player for this team, and not too much contribution when it comes to the players on for the other team. So LaMelo Ball gets the nod, and with 7 for 20 from the field with 27, LaMelo Ball putting up the best numbers he possibly can during the stretch of games. So not much to really say here, which we'll get to more in a minute. So LaMelo Ball is your Hornets player of the game. So what are my thoughts during this game? So the Detroit Pistons was a physical team. And the start of this game was no different compared to the last game that transpired back in February with the suspensions, which you can learn about in the upper right-hand corner of your screen now. So the start of the game started off very physical with a Brandon Miller slam off an alley-oop from LaMelo Ball. And Brandon Miller landed on Duncan Robinson, and there's a little bit of a shove to take place. And I immediately thought watching this game, are we going to see any more physicality? Yes. Are we going to see any suspensions? No. No suspensions was handed out. No technical fouls to my knowledge. And this team, being the Detroit Pistons, is a very physical team, being first in the East. And Jalen Durning, I should say, is a very physical guy himself, and was able to get going on the offensive end as well, having 20 points in this game. So a very physical game throughout. It was a very contested game, very close, and the Hornets were able to hang around for 3 quarters until the fourth. It really, really got bad for the Hornets, being outscored by how many points? 25-10. So 15-point gap in the fourth. And with the Detroit Pistons having 25 in the third, it basically matched what they had in that quarter. So the Hornets were able to hang around for quite some time, keeping it close, able to take the lead briefly, and the Pistons found a way to respond each and every time down the floor. The physicality was there. Detroit was stronger than Charlotte with the centers that they have, the players that they have, and we got bounced around like it was nothing. And it was sad that the Hornets shot really, really bad in that quarter, because look at it this way, or let's take a look. It was a 3-point game going into the fourth quarter. And it was just a physical quarter. There was no heart. There was no soul for the Hornets. It's just bad shooting. And that's why LaMelo Ball is your Hornets player of the game. 27 points. And the next guy on this list with Brandon Miller having 22. Miles had 10. Knipple had 10. Musa had 8. Grant Williams only had 2. Ryan had 4. And Kobe White is probably the one bright spot right now. Like I keep saying it in the videos, Kobe White's been a great addition. In all intents and purposes, we just decided to give up. It felt like watching the Celtics game that took place right before this one. It just felt like a copy and paste of the fourth. There was no heart. There was no soul of what the Hornets have been trying to do. Are they exhausted? Probably. Because think about what the Hornets have been through. They started 6-16, so 10 games below 500, had to dig themselves out of a hole the entire season with injury, went on a 9-game winning streak up until that Detroit Pistons game. The suspensions took place. Miles Bridges, Musa Diabate, and some of the Detroit Pistons players were suspended for a bit. And the Hornets don't have a star guy right now, like a Jaylen Brown, Jason Tatum, like in the last game against Boston. The Detroit Pistons in this game has figured it out with Jalen Duren and Cade Cunningham. And they have good role players. Duncan Robinson, 19 points. Paul Reed, great offensive player as well. Only had 4 in this game, though, but is known for his rebounding facility. Let's see, Isaiah Stewart was involved in that scuffle. It's just frustrating, man. It's just frustrating to see this work from the Hornets being so nonchalant. With this lineup, they're 30-9 on the year with Musa Diabate, Miles Bridges, Knipple, Brandon Miller, LaMelo Ball. That's still great. And there's only one game left. The Hornets last night blew their opportunities to possibly win this game. They've blown some opportunities to win against Boston, which is the game before, to climb up in the standings. And you have guys like, or the teams like Atlanta, Orlando, Philadelphia, winning games, and also Miami is back in the picture. And for now, how it's going to be when the season's done, it's going to be the 9th seed or the 10th. And that's frustrating. I expected a whole lot better. I really did. And if you really think otherwise, or you agree, feel free to let me know. It's just really frustrating that the Hornets might lose an opportunity to play at Spectrum Center in a play-in situation, just the way how things work nowadays in the NBA. And I definitely want to see that. Taking a look at the situations for the Hornets for tomorrow. The Hornets need to win against New York. Atlanta needs to beat the Miami Heat in order to get that ninth spot. That is the only way the Hornets are going to get a home game at Spectrum Center. The situation to get the 10th seed, however, the Hornets lose, Miami wins against Atlanta, and with the Miami Heat being tied with the Hornets, we'll get the season series against the Hornets. That would be the worst case scenario if you're a Hornets fan that wants a home game. But however, the Hornets have looked good on the road. But like I keep saying, I want to get high as possible. My situation, or my prediction rather, was to get the 8th seed. And I really want to get a playoff game back at home or in a play-in situation, just the way things look right now. So those are your situations for the last few days when it comes to seeding. So that'll do it for another episode of Hornets Recaps. Again, my name is Keenan Costain, and if you like what you see, feel free to give it a like, subscribe down below for more, and let me know in the comment section down below, or the Hornets are going to get the 9th seed or the 10th seed as a prediction. And until next time, have a good one, folks. We'll see what happens tomorrow against the New York Knicks, and we'll see the final standings, and we'll go over a recap of the New York Knicks game come Monday. So have a great rest of your weekend. Have a good one, folks. Stay safe and enjoy the games. Have a good one. Bye.